me to optimize the rest of my day. And if I don't do that, I wake up and just feel, not as good, not as optimal.
Exactly. So that's why the resolution for me is make sure I'm up every morning at the same time, you know.
I like it, man.
How's the business been going? You what's like the main goal or resolution for that one? For Best Life?
Yeah, so for the business right now, 2021 is just kind of the motto is monetization. So
yes,
I started it up last June is when I officially launched it. But really, for like the duration of 2020, my goal is just get the brand in front of as many people as possible. I didn't care as much about, wheeling and dealing, but now 2021, it's about, okay, let's monetize this, let's book more clients, let's book more gigs, let's sell more apparel, sell some courses, things like that. So I've been kind of putting the building blocks on the foundation, and now it's time to build up.
I like that. I've been kind of thinking about that. It hasn't become my main objective yet, but like for the Oshtourage too, like I have all the things, like I created, I don't know if you saw on the Instagram, but I made 5 more, like, or 3, whatever it was, more shirts,
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, bro, I really like the red one I did, dude. You gotta check it out. It looks sick.
For sure.
Yeah, but anyways, so like obviously like you can make some money off of that or whatnot, but like in the background, like my goal for like I guess the monetization side of things is I really want to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers so I can start monetizing that. Like that's like my main monetization goal for the business like of the Oshtourage this year,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot. I should probably start looking into making money through YouTube, because right now I'm just kind of using it as like a free resource to get out to people, but if I could monetize it, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I've been talking to a lot of people that have cash cow accounts, so they're like literally making like on the low end $8,000 a month from an account, on the high end like $35,000 a month, and these guys, once you have those, it's like real estate, spin off cash flow, and they just go out and buy other ones. So like these guys have 20 accounts that are bringing them in at least $20,000 a month, and that's streams of income automation right there that I'm striving for with this. So. I'm also trying to see like if you ever know anyone to acquire a larger account, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or something like that.
Okay, yeah, and so I know a couple people who like I don't think they're looking to sell by any means, but I know people you can talk to, because
I would love
I've got
to.
a couple friends who have been coaching me who have like maybe like 30,000 subscribers, or one of them has almost 50.
Oh yes, bro, hook me up.
So
I got questions.
Yeah, they've been helping, and I've actually got a meeting set with one of them to just go over and literally just take notes. She's going to run me through, like, what should the thumbnail look like? How should you set up the title? What should be in it? In the show notes, what should you do? As you progress through the video, like, what's going to keep people's attention? And so we're just going to break down, like, every component of my podcast right now and see how I can improve it, what to add, what to take out, and even the quick couple of notes she's given me so far helped a ton.
Yeah. Dude, I would be extremely grateful to have that opportunity to chat with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll hit them up and see if they're up for it.
There you go. Do you have a website for Best Self yet? Because that's something that I've been working on right now, and that I'm going to be dropping that pretty soon.
Yeah, so it's bestselfllc.org.
Okay. How did you set that up? Who'd you go through?
So the website itself I got through Squarespace.
That's what I'm doing.
In my opinion, they just have the best looking design.
What do you pay per month to keep that going?
Per month, I think it's like $20, and then once a year it's $30 for the domain itself. Okay. So it's really not bad. And then
that's how easy it is to start an online biz.
Yep, and then I set it up because I have my shop on there, so I set that up and integrated it with Stripe.
Do you know if people can buy through Bitcoin on those? Because I know Square accepts Bitcoin. Do you know if people can use Bitcoin through Square to purchase stuff on your page?
That I don't know. So I just have it set up pretty much like credit cards.
Right.
At this point, debit and credit cards.
Because I was thinking about having people. I was thinking about having people convert to Bitcoin and then paying in Bitcoin, and if they did that, I would like give them a discount on the item, because then I would just stack up the Bitcoin and then could use that for whatever, as payment and as an investment.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reason I picked Stripe is because really I'm just looking, like, Stripe is good if you're strictly looking to sell something online, and obviously I'm not looking to set up, like, a store with the clothing line or anything like that. Because Stripe, I think the reason that I picked it, I don't know, it was a while ago now, but they allowed the most types of debit and credit cards as opposed to other payment systems. But what I did is, because obviously, like, they take, I think it's like 3% of the sale or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just calculated out, like, what that would be per sale, and I put that as the amount for shipping, so that way I basically cover that and get the full profit.
Right.
But yeah, man, if you want to take a look at my website, I think it's got pretty much everything you need in terms of, I've got links to have people apply for working with me. I have links set up for companies who want to book me for speaking. I've got links to social, got my link to my podcast, what I do, my shop, contact info, all that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm working on it, and I don't know how you, like, publish it. Do you, like, edit it and then publish it, and then pay for the domain and stuff?
So you pay for the domain first. So you type in the domain, make sure that it's not taken. You purchase that, and then once you purchase it, you go in and design the actual website itself, and that's where you put, like, what layout you want, what click-throughs you want, so, like, what funnels.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you can integrate it with, so, like, I have mine set up. It's integrated with my manufacturer for my clothing line, and then it's integrated with my payment system. So that's another reason I really like Squarespace, is it's really compatible with a lot of integrations. So you're able to basically set up like a one-stop shop. The only thing that I'm having trouble with it is finding a reasonably priced course creation platform that integrates with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can find that, then it really is going to be like a one-stop shop.
Right. Have you thought about investing in any promotions, like, for example, like with the post on Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff?
So I've been thinking about it. If I were to do that, I think I would target YouTube and set up one of those, like, mini, like,
advertisements,
webinars before a video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because the thing that I have found with people who have tried doing, like, have a big like Instagram page give you a shout out or something like that.
Yeah.
I've found it gets a lot of attention on you, but it doesn't really convert as well. And so I'd rather have the direct click through of someone seeing my ad and then going directly to my website, as opposed to people, like, doing that and then going to, like, my Instagram page, where it's, again, not as clear. Like, my Instagram page is more for, like, inspiration and getting people the free content.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I don't know. I've thought about it, and I'll probably end up doing it in a few months, but right now I'm just kind of working on getting the apparel really solidified, getting that out there, I've got a couple courses that I'm looking to finish up and get filmed.
Yep.
So
what do you do in the
really
courses?
In on that stuff.
What are you like discussing in the courses?
So one of them is kind of like recalibrating your purpose in life and understanding. So it's targeting people who feel like they're going through their day and their life on autopilot and just don't have nearly as much like emotional attachment to what's happening as back when they were kids. So I kind of run them through a certain type of meditation that brings them back to when they were a child and essentially extracts the feeling, like the bodily feeling that they had, the energy, the curiosity, the passion, extracts those feelings and then brings it back to present moment.
Yep.
So we do that, and then I do, there's this thing called the death meditation, which sounds just super ominous, but essentially the point of it is to put you at the point of assuming that you still have the cognition, right before you die, and thinking about what you'll have want to have done and who you'll have want to have become. And so you're essentially tying that with reintegrating the bodily feeling of passion, curiosity, all that childlike energy. And it really does a good job of putting into light, like, what's important to you.
Yeah, I'm
and
right. Yeah, I like
what
that.
it'll feel like to pursue those things again.
I love that you brought that up, because I'm writing that down. The quote of, if I died, for example, at the end of this year, what would I wanted to have accomplished? And when you say that, like when I read that back to myself, I was trying to think what that might look like, and I don't know exactly yet, but it kind of puts some fire in your veins, you know what I mean? Because it's like, that's the important stuff. That's priority. That's, regardless of what people say is what you should do or success looks like, it's like, whatever those items are to you, that's what you should probably focus on first.
Absolutely. So yeah, I call it finding your why. Like, if you don't have the why behind what you're doing throughout your day, either you need to find that why or you need to stop doing what you're doing, because once you have that why and you really have a strong emotional attachment to it, you're going to have so much energy behind the things you do. It's like night and day difference.
Can you help me run through a little exercise super quick, about figuring out what my why is? Like, I have a good idea of what my why is, but I want to know what I can come up with through your asking of questions or whatever.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'll run you through, I call it like the reverse engineering process. So reverse engineering, obviously you take a full, complete made product and you take it apart piece by piece. So we're going to start by looking at the end product, which is, again, like, I want you to think about when you're on your, and you can just write this down so you can actually, like, go into it at a later time, but I want you to write down the question, like, on my deathbed, what are the, like, 3 or 5 questions I'm going to be asking myself to determine whether or not I lived the life I want to have lived? So, like, and everyone's got different questions, but, like, for me, those questions are, did I show the people I loved that I loved them not just through words but through actions? Did I really make a big positive impact on the world? One of them, as selfish as it is like, did I do cool shit? Because I think that's an important part of life, for me at least. One of them is, did I matter? And then one of them is...
What was the first one there? I'm sorry.
So the first one was, for the people in my life that I love, did I show them I love them, not just through words, but through actions?
Perfect.
So those are mine. So just to give you, like, an example of, and I have 1 or 2 more, but just to give you an example of, like, really think about, like, imagine, as uncomfortable as it may be, like, do a visualization where you picture yourself, like, on your deathbed, and you have that cognitive ability to ask, like, what is going to determine, like, what questions are you asking to gauge whether or not you're happy with your life? So once you have those questions, we start the reverse engineering process. The first step is, at that point, at the end, like, what's going to allow you to answer yes to each of those questions? Because usually it's a yes or no question, right? Like, did I matter? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, so you figure out what the questions are. You take the 30,000-foot approach of, how do I, over my lifetime, get to a yes? Then from there, you break it down however you want. So I go from your lifetime down to the next, 3 to 5 years. So in the next 3 to 5 years, how can I make sure that that's a yes in all those areas? Then you break it down to the next year. And then really to solidify it, I actually turn them into daily habits. So for me, again, like, did I show the people I loved that I love them? Right. I got to do that on a daily basis. Do I do cool shit? Well, I do that on a daily basis. Do I make a difference in the world? Do that on a daily basis. So once you have that fire behind you of, like, you're doing these things that will give you a fulfilled life every single day, you're going to feel so much more in alignment with who you are and who you're becoming and what you're doing, and what you're contributing, and all those things.
Right.
So that's a big way to kind of reprioritize, like, how you're spending your time, your money, your energy, your relationships, things like that.
I love that. What do you think is like the general purpose of like people's lives?
So I don't remember who said this, but I think this is so true. I think the purpose of life is to find out what your purpose is in life. So the purpose for everyone is different. Like, for me, that's why I started Best Self, is my purpose is to help people become the best version of who they are relative to what that means to them. There are some people who their purpose in life is to teach math. There are some people who their purpose in life is to design products or design apps. So it's different for everybody, but it's one of those inner knowings where once you actually find that purpose, you just know. There's a certain feeling inside of you that's undeniable as long as you're willing to accept it.
I rock with that.
So I think what's important is, especially at the age we're at, that's why I did such a wide variety of jobs, because I was essentially taking the route of figuring out, okay, I need to know what I don't want to do so I can figure out what I do want to do.
Exactly.
And so by eliminating those options and closing those doors, I was able to dive deeper into the certain areas that I had that spark of interest, or I, had passion for it. And then you keep itching that itch, and you keep diving deeper into the rabbit hole, and eventually you find purpose.
Right.
But yeah, so
what's the difference between purpose and why?
What's that?
What's the difference between someone's purpose and their why?
Really, okay, so your purpose, in my opinion, is more, and again, this is just my opinion, this isn't factual, but in my opinion, purpose is more centered around contribution. But your why can be tied to anything, whether it's contribution or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, your why, again, for me, like, one of my whys is, like, just do really cool things. That is not...
Yeah, it's not your purpose.
my purpose for being here is not to do cool things, but that's one of my whys, because it's one of the things that lights me up more than anything in the world, is just doing crazy shit.
Right.
But yeah, that's an interesting question. I'll have to think about it more, and if I come up with a better answer, I'll definitely let you know, because I've never really tried to differentiate the two.
Mm-hmm. Without giving away the greatness of your program, what is one of the biggest takeaways or things that you would like for people to know, or like to do, or to think about? So really, the all-encompassing approach dials down to one thing, and that's getting back into your true self. There you go.
So I just think, unfortunately, between social media and social norms and the environment that we're in the U.S. right now, and all over the world, frankly, we tend to gravitate towards being carbon copies of people, as opposed to stepping into who we truly are and what we truly want to do, for a variety of reasons. And I want to show people that the best route to take is one that's never been taken before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that can mean emulating certain attributes or characteristics of people, or implementing certain ideas that they've given you. But the collective of all that should be unique, just like your fingerprint.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically what it comes down to, is getting people back into who they are, and through doing that, showing them how passionate life can actually be.
I would say that that's pretty much my why or purpose per se. Why do you do any of this?
Why do I do Best Self?
Yeah. What's your reason? So,
my reason for it is I think, despite my spiritual beliefs, obviously, I believe that when you die here, you're not dead. There's something after. But at the same rate, like, who's to say you're ever going to live this life again?
Yeah, you're wrong.
So, as cheesy as it is, that like the YOLO saying, like, really, you have one shot at this life. Whatever comes after that is likely going to be drastically different than this life. And so it's so important for me to show people that in order to make the most of your life, you need to make the most of yourself.
I like that.
And so, yeah, I think, and
I'm in thought that the only reason why I'm back in this planet here, or for example, why my soul chose to come to Earth here, is because there is that influence, and our level of awareness has specifically, because of that, is we've been chosen to do that, you know, to share these messages and, you know, help people get back to their true selves.
I think it's one of those things, and it's not for everyone to actually like try to spread this particular message.
Exactly.
But I think for the people who it is for, like, if you have that, like I talked about, that inner knowing, and you choose to not pursue it, like, that's where I think you're really going to have demons in the closet, because you know you're not following that path that you're, like, spiritually, you're here to fulfill. You're here to meet and execute on.
Another thing, we were talking about, like, you would introduce me to those people with the YouTube pages, but I would love to connect with other people that are sharing the same message, man. I feel like that's going to be one of our best ways to continue to grow this, is all together. There's no competition in this.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, you'll see, like, on my podcast, I've brought on personal trainers, I've brought on ninja coaches, I've brought on mindfulness people, and every single time I recommend people go out, seek their advice, seek their counsel, because I completely agree. It doesn't matter who the messenger is, as much as it matters that people get the message.
Right.
And so if I can promote other people and help them as well, I'm going to do it, because maybe someone feels more comfortable talking with a female about this stuff than with me. Yeah. Maybe someone feels more comfortable talking with someone in their 40s or 50s than they are talking with me. And as long as they get the message they need to get, that's what I care about.
Exactly. Everyone's going to take it their own way, and the point is to just put it out there so that people can do so.
You got it.
There you go.
But yeah, so I've just been that's kind of my focus for the business, and then I'm trying to brainstorm a way to integrate my business with my athletic endeavors.
Yeah.
So, for example, like in June, I just got booked to do a 24-hour solo endurance race.
Wow.
And so I'm looking for a way to integrate, just like essentially sponsoring athletes to rep best self, but
yeah, I like that. We've been in talks with sponsoring a race car group, actually. They really want us to do that. Yeah. So
that would be cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So it's one of those things where, like, I have a lot of friends who are pretty big name athletes in their arenas, and if I could get, you know, some type of sponsorship with them, that would be awesome. But I got to figure out the best way to do that, because I've gotten sponsored, and when you're the one being sponsored, it's really easy. You just, you know, perform well and collect the check or collect the incentive. But I don't know how it works coming from the other end of, like, I definitely don't have the budget to just start, like, dishing out cash to all these athletes, but I'd like to incentivize them somehow. So I'll have to dive into that a little bit.
Yep, gear, PR, just good word of mouth to start, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of what you got to do.
But, yeah, and then, like, for myself, too, because I'm doing that race, and then I'm trying to get a group together to head out to Washington State to do an 1,800-foot sport route for rock climbing.
Oh, dude, I would do that.
Like a documentary on that.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, like, I'm trying to set up these things, but I just need to figure out a way to, like, integrate them with Best Self.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
How do you?
Another thing.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask, how do you find these like-minded individuals, the people that you're gonna rock with, the people that you want to sponsor? How do you come in connection with these people? What are your ideas?
So it's just like making the effort. So like just like how we started talking with you, just reaching out. Like that's what I do with a lot of people. Where if I go to a party or something, I try to talk to every single person and just put feelers out. And then once I find someone who lights up talking about this stuff, I just gravitate towards them, talk with them, try to get in with their friend group. Again, put the feelers out there.
Yeah.
And eventually, you do that. You put the feelers out, and then you audit. So once the feelers are out, and once you have like this wide group or wide circle, you start auditing those connections with all those people. And then it's almost addition by subtraction, because once you pull away from, and it sounds mean, but really it's just the reality of the situation. Like, you can't spend an equal amount of time with everyone that you know and are friends with.
Right.
So you want to invest more time in those people who do, talk about the things we're talking about,
exactly,
things we're facing. And that's where it kind of comes in, is it's not as much like I just am blessed and know like hundreds of people like this. It's more, I just almost on a daily basis put these feelers out to like new people.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it sticks, it sticks, and I pursue it. And then eventually I audit the relationship and think like, okay, like how aligned is this? Is this making me better? Is it making them better?
Yep.
Is it mutually beneficial? And yeah, then if that's the case, then I just keep going with it.
There you go. How are you going to double down in adding value to people this year?
Yeah, so I think it comes in a few ways. The first is obviously with best self. I think that's my main avenue of like contribution, of just making sure that I'm teaching people the things I want to teach them in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The other is I want to make sure, because I very much understand that if I'm labeling a company best self, I need to make sure that I'm practicing what I preach.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's another way I'm going to give back, is just showing people how to live a healthy, fit, happy, fulfilled, passionate, fun life, where you're doing the things you need to do to set up the lifestyle you want to have. You're doing the things you need to do to be responsible and disciplined, but you're also not letting that take away from the beauty and fun and excitement of life. So I want to contribute by being an example for others who may feel like they don't have the time or don't have the resources or don't have the connections, and just show people that really it doesn't start with any of that. It starts with you and your habits.
Yeah, just making that decision every moment.
Exactly.
For your best self.
That's another one. And then really I think a big part of it is like what we were just talking about with relationships. I want to find those running partners, and I want to just pour value into them. Like I want to make sure that I'm keeping them accountable for the person they want to become and the things they want to do. And so like for example, one of my good friends who is very much like us, he has the growth mindset. He wants to continue. He just wants to continue pushing the envelope of what's possible in this life. And so him and I set up every Sunday, we do a weekly accountability check.
What's his name?
His name is Justin. So he's on Facebook. He's not on Instagram or social media very often. But yeah, so we do every Sunday, we make a list of tasks that we want to do the following week, and they include physical, mental, emotional health, contribution, fun, relationships, all that stuff. And then we have a bonus task, which is something that is like out of the ordinary, like going the extra mile. And how it works is we have the week to complete it. If we don't complete it, there's a consequence. And if we do complete it all, there's a reward. And so we just do a really good job of like being very open about like, yep, I got this, and this done. I missed the ball on this. And we hold each other to doing the consequences. We make sure the consequences are actually something that are going to help you like grow and learn, but also get you out of your comfort zone so you want